The world is one, especially for cricket fans, as the 50-over World Cup kicks off in India. We've looked in depth at all teams here on WION, and you can catch detailed previews on our digital streams. Just go looking for WION World of Cricket. I'm Digvijay Singh Deo. I'm joined by cricketing royalty. Dav Whatmore, Sri Lanka's 1996 World Cup winning coach, is our cricket pundit. And today we are talking game changers. So let me just put it out there. We are not talking about players we have spoken of in the other segments like the batters or the bowlers. Let's look at Dav Whatmore's 5 game changers to look out for. Those numbers are going to come up here. I'm going to turn. There you are. These are the 5 you've picked, and I'll get you to talk about them. Let's talk about Surya Kumar Yadav. Oof. Now, before this World Cup, people are questioning, should he be in the team? Rahul Dravid, coach, big legend himself, says, we've picked our team, Surya's in it. And then perhaps that has settled him down. Got some good runs against Australia as well. But in the truest terms of the word, a game changer when you see it. His numbers, which we are going to see, are not going to tell us that, especially in ODI cricket. But give him 30 balls, and that game could be over.
And he look at the strike rate.
27-28.
Yeah, the strike rate's what you're looking for, I think. Okay. If you look at the strike rate, it's 105.70.
Hang on, but can we get up the next one, please? His IPL, his T20I numbers. Let's contrast it with that. Because his T20I numbers coming up here, look at the strike rate.
Huge.
And look at the runs, look at the matches, and look at the strike rate. What India need is for him to sort of get out of that T20I space and transport it into the ODIs. We're now sort of seeing him get there.
Yeah, it takes a bit of time, I guess.
But why is that? And one would think it's an automatic switch.
Well, it doesn't happen that way. It's that another word called expectations comes into it, and that can cause so many problems. When you're coming in from one format to the other, it's very difficult to switch on. Very few have the ability to do that, and they're multi-formatted players. In his case, he certainly has got the ability to star in these 50-over matches. But at the beginning on this transformation from this one format to the other, sometimes the expectations in his own mind, expectations from others around him, from his parents, his coaches, teammates, can be a negative effect, particularly if you happen to miss out in the first couple of innings, which was the case. So it takes a little bit of time, and he's human, and it's a mental game. Yes, you've got to have the skill and to do all sort of tricks like he can do, but it's still a game played in the head once you cross that line. So he needs support. He needs plenty of support, and I think he's getting it. Okay,
since you brought up skills, let's get a bat in. Can I give you a bat? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Let's look at a method to Surya Kumar Yadav's madness with someone who's played Test cricket. Is it not exactly the Dav Whatmore coaching manual? But let's figure out. I'll take this for you.
Yeah.
And let's get Dav Whatmore to show us.
Let's look at the leg side.
How does he manufacture those shots?
There's lots of shots that he plays around the wicket, but I think let's focus the one on the leg side.
Okay.
But I'll preface it by saying that it is played with a lot of confidence and courage, and it's very rarely practiced in the nets because it's too dangerous. For one, the surfaces aren't quite the same as competition surface, like wickets, so it's difficult to practice it in the nets. To me, it's played on instinct. So you've got to have the courage, the conviction, and the skill.
But hang on, but that's a huge thing you're saying.
Yeah.
You would think that it's muscle memory comes in, you practice. We've heard stories of Sachin Tendulkar scuffing up the leg side and getting Sivaramakrishnan to bowl there so that he prepares for Shane Warne. You think it's all instinct?
It is. If I was in his shoes, if I was still playing now, I'd be looking to play it on instinct.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll be predetermined and I have to just go through with it. But in his case, he's able to identify an area where there's less protection in the outfield, and he's got the ability to hit it. And the earlier you take it, the more finer it'll go. The later you hit it, the more straighter it'll go. So he's got this happy knack, or this wonderful knack, to actually make contact at the right angle to ensure that the ball goes in an area where there's less protection and he gets full value for the shot. Sometimes it doesn't matter, it goes right over the top. And I can also tell you that the speed of the bat is controlled not by the arms and shoulders, it's by the wrists and the forearms, and he must have terrific strength in the wrists, because that's the only body part that can accelerate the bat or decelerate the bat. If you think, oh goodness, that's not where I thought, then the wrist will slow it down for you, or it will quicken up and away she goes all over. So, you know, that's a little interesting thing that not many people would know. It's the wrists that allows you to accelerate or decelerate.
That's why you won the World Cup as a coach.
No.
That's why we've got Dav Whatmore here. Okay, one more question. When you say risk, clearly that means there has to be some tennis background there, you know, those volleys.
Yeah.
But when you were coaching Sri Lanka, let's talk 96, what are the options the bowlers have? They only had the Yorker. But what Surya Kumar Yadav is doing, the Yorker's still around.
Yeah.
But what Surya Kumar Yadav is doing, he's even converting the Yorker into a ball he hits. What he's doing is
going back.
He's going back.
Yeah.
Either then he again gets the sweep out,
yeah,
or he then, because he's crouched right at the end, he turns the ball into a half volley and launches it.
Well, that's right. If you go deep in your crease, you're giving yourself a little bit more time to see the ball, and you're giving yourself more time to make it into that half volley. And he's so good at that. You know, you've got to be very fit, very strong in the quads, so that you have to lower your centre of gravity without losing, you know, balance. And he's able to actually execute those shots correctly. But also, my feeling is that you got to see the ball early. Once you see the ball early, and I think that's the difference between players who get big runs and players who don't get that many big runs in their consistency, because those ones see it early. We all take it for granted. We got eyes, we can see. But there are days when you see it a little bit earlier, which, as a batsman, I know, you think, bloody hell, this is easy today. Other days, you struggle a little bit, and it's because you picked that ball in flight a fraction of a second later, and you struggle a bit.
But Dav, you know, I mean, I've never played cricket. I mean, I played gully cricket, that doesn't count. But they say, when I used to go for coaching when I was a kid, they say when you play, your head has to be still. You play the ball underneath your eyes, correct? But when he's moving around in his crease, how is he keeping his head still? Suppose he's already crouched, he's premeditated. The bowler bowls it wide outside the off stump. He still swivels, uses his upper body strength, smashes it across. How is he second-guessing the bowlers? If you're already in position, can you just show that to us?
Well, surely, I think, you know, also if you're in that frame of mind, then the bowler becomes a little bit defensive. If you're putting the pressure back on them, the bowler has that slightly defensive mind, and then he's looking not to get you out. So he's just looking to stop you from scoring, and that's a bit of an advantage, a big advantage, in fact, for the batsman. So in his case, he's able to do that, and that makes a hell of a difference. And what am I showing you? I can't.
I'm asking you to show me how does he move, premeditate, but still get his head still, and then how does he get the power to go?
But fractionally, I think fractionally of a second, you know, when impact occurs, it's a little bit more stable than you think. It's not a case of moving and hitting, you know. Fractionally, he's got himself in the right position in the bottom half, your legs, and then he's executing with the top half. As I said, the last bit that comes in was those wrists to make it go a long way. So fractionally, it's hard to explain. It's hard to eyeball it on, you know, when you're watching it live. But when you slow it down, most of the time you'll find fractionally the head is still, and you're watching the ball very intently, having seen it early.
Okay, time for me to hand back the coaching pad, and I get the bat back. Thank you for this. Okay, that's
I hope
interesting.
that was understandable.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll ask our viewers. In fact, we've got a segment going saying no more with Whatmore. If you like what you're seeing or you don't like what you're seeing, if you think you can tell us a bit more, write into us and I'll put that question across to Dav. He's happy. He's happy to face criticism, aren't you?
Correct.
Of course. A reminder, Dav Whatmore has also picked his top 5 batters and bowlers. You can go onto our digital streams and catch that. Again, I repeat, if you like something he said or you disagree, write to us using the hashtag WION Cricket or ask Dav. As Dav picked his 5 game changers, he also told us that they may not necessarily reflect on the scoreboard, but teams deep down know that these small passages of play change the game. That's it then on this special edition of WION World of Cricket. Plenty more cricket coming up. The World Cup is getting underway and we have all bases covered.